So this is the Innovative Marine 16-gallon nano tank that we set up. We designed this to be a black water tank, and the goal was to get more of a tea coloration in this tank. And well, as you can see, initially we have epically failed at that standpoint. That driftwood is not releasing as many tannins as I hope it would. That catappa leaf in the top left corner there is still floating. Haven't got that been able to sink yet. It's been in there for about 2 days now. But all in all, I feel that this tank is a full successful tank, and I am excited to see how this tank evolves. If nothing else, I'm going to turn this into a low light tank, but I am just excited for the fish that we have stocked in here. So to start off with, the light that I'm using for this tank is just a simple clip-on LED light. Right now I have it clipped to the stand that this tank is sitting on and shining through the side of the tank there. I wanted to give this more of a shadow effect, but I don't like how in the top right hand corner it just seems like it's more of a spotlight effect. And since that's where it seems that the small fish like to gravitate to as of now, I may change this. I'm looking into a different clip-on light. I'm also looking in a different way to clip this light on. But just the shadow effect that I've achieved in this tank is really what I was going for. And I'm just all around excited for this tank. So right now I do have some goofy lids up top. I need to get some glass cut for a more specialized lid. But the fish in this tank are jumpers. Will jump out if I'm not careful. And as you can see, I have that random rock on the piece of driftwood there. That is primarily meant to hold that rock down, or excuse me, hold the wood down as it waterlogs. But I also just kind of like the different look it gives it. So, but nonetheless, let's talk about the fish. That's really what we're interested in. So as you can see, I've got a small school of little fish running around, and that is consisting of a handful of SP rasboras as well as a handful of Kubatai rasboras. I initially was going to put in some green neons in this tank, but when I went to my local fish store, they had the SP rasboras in stock, and I fell in love with them. I really liked the attitude of the fish. I liked the schooling effect of the fish, and I thought it would bring just a nice flow to this tank to have a smaller rasbora that's energetic, constantly moving around this tank. The Kubatai rasboras I found from a local breeder. Didn't know much about these fish, but when I looked into them, I got excited because I wanted fish that showed some color, a little bit of flash, especially in a low light tank. And those Kubatai rasboras, it's these little fish right here. We'll get a closer look at them. In a low light situation, they actually flash a neon green. So they're still adjusting to the tank. They've only been in this tank now for about 2 days. And over time, I'm really hoping they're gonna get that rich neon green color and flash that as they're swimming around the tank. When I had them in quarantine, they started to, but I think with the mix of the SP rasboras and the Kubatai rasboras, it is going to give a nice color variant to this tank. Now, we're going to call this kind of the showcase fish, or the main fish in this tank. I wanted something a little bigger, and you can see him right here in the front. I decided to go with a pair of Bolivian rams. Now, if you know from a later video, we talked about how we were initially going to stock this tank with my pair of Epistogramma cockatoides double red. And I did a video on how I unfortunately lost those, so I needed a different game plan, and I know some videos have come out since that I talked about them. But as I started looking into different options, one option I came across was the German blue ram, which is kind of the cousin to the Bolivian ram. German blue rams give off some amazing color, but they can be pretty temperamental when it comes to temperature and pH swings. But I also, the more and more I looked at the Bolivian ram, I like them. I don't think they get enough appreciation in the hobby because they don't show the fancy blues and oranges. But guys, the female I have in this tank, she's got some nice red coloration to her dorsal fin. To be honest, they've only been in this tank for about a day. They came in a little after rasbora, so they're still adjusting. But I am very hopeful that my pair I got will start to breed for me in this tank. That is the end goal I have for this tank, because I wanted to be set up an ideal breeding situation, but also something that was a nice showcase for these rams to breed. So I wanted to give a little bit of love to these specific fish, but now let's get a closer look in on some of these fish so you can see some of the colors that they do have. guys, there you have it. There is the Blackwater tank that we're going to officially call it, maybe a low light tank. I am really excited for the stocking we have in this tank and how that tank turned out. If you want to see future updates on this tank or have any questions about it, feel free to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, send me a comment, send me a message, and I will gladly share with you everything I used on this tank. But guys, look forward to more coming out of Wel-Don Aquatics. We got some good things coming here from the fish room. So again, I'm Trent Wel-Don. Thank you for joining me on this, and we'll talk to you guys next time.